morning and welcome to St Benedict's College Sports Department. Today I'm having a chat with another member of staff, Mr. Tyron Pagan, who manages our gym. Welcome, Mr. Pagan, and can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role here at St Benedict's as we begin?
Yeah, so I'm employed here as the gym manager for the St Benedict's gym facility, as well as the head of strength and conditioning for the St Benedict's sports program in terms of the fitness and conditioning for the various sports teams.
And tell us a little bit about your background that allows you to be in that position for us.
So I've got a degree in sports science from the University of Johannesburg. My undergrad was in sports psychology, then I did my honours year in sports science. Then I've worked various experience at high performance tennis academies, gross motor development, things with young kids. So I've got a wide variety of experience with working with specifically youth.
And how has your time been at St Benedict's in terms of how your role has evolved over time? When you first began to what you find yourself doing right now?
So when I first started here, I was very new. It was a new environment to me. I've never worked at an all-boys school before. I worked under the mentorship of Miguel Caldera and a very good strength and conditioning coach who taught me a lot. And once he had left his position, then I was given the opportunity to take over from him.
How many years is it then that you've been with us?
This year will be my fourth full year. Yeah,
and Ty, what do you find yourself doing mostly on a day-to-day basis with this Benedict's boy at present?
So at present, when I'm working specifically with the boys, it's more involved specifically with an individual team in the sports. So a coach will speak to me and say he wants this parameter worked with his team, and then I'll either come out onto the field and do certain sessions with them, or they come and have sessions with me specifically in the gym.
And what is your philosophy with regards to strength and conditioning, specifically with schoolboys in mind?
So yeah, if we're talking specifically about schoolboys, my whole philosophy is more around the coaching aspect. So calling a strength and conditioning coach, making sure that coach is the most important word that we're looking at. I like to ensure that the boys know what they are doing and that they understand what they're doing as well. Not just giving them a session that's going to tire them out, but a session that is meaningful and it improves their overall performance as an athlete.
Do you work with every St Benedict's boy, or is there more of a focus on our elite athletes?
When I started here, there was more of a focus on the top of the top end teams, but we have in the last few years trying to get a system that incorporates everyone. It is still difficult because those boys in those lower things don't really see the value of it, but it's slowly starting to get there. But for now it is still more tiered towards the higher teams. We have got a lot more boys from the lower teams coming into the program.
What are the obstacles to having the perfect program at St Benedict's? What kind of obstacles? You've mentioned that not every boy has bought into the program yet. How do you plan to overcome that obstacle?
So I think the biggest obstacle we have is not enough time to actually do my philosophy in terms of coaching.
Yes.
Because the teams that come in, the boys that come in, they want to improve their performance. So they hear on the news and all the media about all these great sessions that these athletes are doing, but they can't get to there yet because they haven't got that foundation yet. And we don't have the time to do the right amount of coaching because we also want them to be fit and ready to go onto the field. So we try and find a middle ground where we're getting a good solid program, but trying to incorporate some coaching in as well. And I think that's my biggest obstacle at the moment.
So it sounds like a physical education program.
Yeah.
Do you believe in a physical education program, and how would you like to see a physical education program implemented at St Benedict's?
So I definitely believe in the concept of physical education, and I think it also will extend to creating a better strength and conditioning program, because if we can get the education and the main coaching part done in that session, then the guys coming for the SNC sessions will have better sessions to work with, and we can improve the whole strength and conditioning of our athletes as well. But if we're talking purely on physical education, it can also extend to every boy. And because we're talking more on an education basis, we make it more accessible and less daunting to the kid who doesn't really like to do fitness because he has this negative perception of fitness, but he's coming and he's learning something and he's learning about his body, and it makes it a little bit more interesting and exciting to that type of boy.
All right, so Ty, in this time of COVID-19 where we've seen school sport halted, and we are looking for an announcement soon enough for a return to sport, you've had some physical education lessons with some boys. How is that going, and what do you see coming out of it?
So we've only had 2 sessions so far. We've had 2 classes come to us, and just from those 2 sessions, I've already seen the immense value of what I've kind of thought would come out of it. There were boys that we had in there who could barely do a push-up. But if we put them into a gym in an SNC setting, the session would say 10 push-ups. The boy would feel overwhelmed and say, there's no way I can do 10 push-ups, and then he doesn't really want to get involved. Yesterday we broke it down, did progressions, showed the boys what to do, showed them what not the best positions are. When they were doing it, we were able to give them corrections, everything, and you could clearly see just off one session the huge improvement that can happen, especially with a boy who's in grade 8 or 9. That's where I think it needs to be focused.
Right, so perhaps a positive out of this whole dilemma that we currently face, and this the negativity around COVID, as yet there's a positive spin-off. Mr. Pagan at St. Benedict's, with regards to facilities that allows your program to be implemented, we've spoken about the obstacles that you face. What can you tell us about what St. Benedict's has going for it with regards to our strength and conditioning program?
So if we're talking about strength and conditioning, the facilities that we've got a really, in my opinion, a world-class gym. It may not exactly look the prettiest, but in terms of what it does and its function, it's probably better than a lot of high-performance centers that we actually have in this country. And I'm very well equipped. I've got everything I need to push through what my philosophy and what I want to see. If we just get the buy-in now from the boys and all the coaches and the physical education side, I think it will be much better use of that facility as well.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to you building on the program that you've started with us, and we wish you well in this difficult time, but know that our boys will be learning a lot from you in those physical education lessons.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Pagan.